evening.
Good evening.
Good
How's
evening,
everyone
good evening,
doing?
good evening.
All of a sudden, it's warm in here.
It is. I told you these damn things is hot.
Right, it's hot.
Damn things is
How
hot.
how do women wear these all day?
Lord, I was like,
so you know, this is a little $5 joint from Shopper's World.
Listen, it don't make a difference where it is. It's this she got a little temperature on her. She comfortable.
That's why they're so comfortable in the winter.
But she got that's why they're comfortable. Okay, but she cute. She cute. She real cute.
So you know, today is Wednesday, June 19th.
Yes, I was like,
it's also Juneteenth.
yes.
Which
so happy
is
Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth, which is why we are wearing our African-inspired muumuu / army look, and
Because you got to be vigilant.
Right.
Stay vigilant
Power to the people.
and stay vigilant.
Right.
I'm just saying.
You know, you always got to be ready. You ain't,
then-
you ain't got to get ready if you
when you
stay
stay
ready.
ready. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And then underneath this is the other stuff where it's telling you, you just put your finger in your ass and grab it.
Right.
All that type
Bam.
of stuff. Right. So.
And today, in honor of Black Music Month, we're going to be talking about our favorite gospel tunes. So that's why we started off with "Work It Out" by.
Let me explain
I forget
something to
who
you.
that is by.
Let me explain something to you about that song. Sure. Yes.
And C.G. Haynes. Yes. C.G. Hayes. Yes.
But let me explain something to you. The first time I heard that song was actually at a club where there was.
You know how they know.
Listen.
You know the gays love to throw a good
Gays would
gospel,
throw a good gospel song at you, but
or
it was,
Martin Luther King speech over
listen,
a gospel
over top of
a
a
house
track.
beat.
But this drag queen was performing down.
Yes.
And all I know is I couldn't even stop looking at her because I was just so engrossed in the music. I was like, I felt like, did everybody ever see that movie Steve Martin that was in called The Jerk?
Yes.
Remember when he was like, Mama, I could dance.
Right.
Like I was just like, yes.
Yes.
It was amazing. I think some of the
you
best
just
music
feel it.
I've ever heard, I've heard in the clubs with the gays, just period. Like it's amazing because it promotes such an area of freedom and movement and dance and joy, and everybody comes into a gay club when the music is right and their spirit is set free. And every time, that's one of the things that I miss about when I was younger, going into the clubs, because the music would just set my spirit free all the time.
Yeah, I don't really feel that as much anymore.
I don't feel it as much.
Maybe more I'm thinking, I'm usually thinking two things. Girl, but my feet hurt. And two, where we going to go to Denny's?
Well, so, Denny's is always on the menu. Let's be clear about that.
But the music just, there is,
it's
Cedric,
different.
there is no Delta, there is no Cedric,
right.
There is no, even the other DJ, what was his, Rodney at the Mill?
So it was...
DJ Rodney?
DJ Rodney was one, but there's another one. Starts with a C.
Him.
Yeah,
yes.
Cameron.
Yes.
Cameron.
Yeah,
was at the Mill.
They just turned it out, the old days of...
even Wesley
what
at
was the spot that had like 1,700 rooms? And then it was right next to the Edge.
Even Wesley would turn it out at the, at Tracks and also at the at the Edge. And then also he would play at some other random spots. He would play at some of the balls that I would go to. Like Wesley would get down. Cedric, again, listen, District House Mother. So I'm going to go ahead and say, and I miss West and I miss all the DJs that would play. They kind of had a lot going on, and I loved it. And it made my spirit free every time I went in there. And the one thing about the Delta that I always enjoyed from day one when I first walked in there, I was pulled up on that damn stage, and I was dancing, and someone was throwing dollars at my feet.
Dancing, digga dancing.
I was dancing,
digga dancing.
And they were throwing dollars at my feet. And I was like, what is this? What is all this money? What are you talking about?
Like
what is this?
That's coins.
It was amazing. And I enjoyed myself. And I just don't get that same spirit anymore when I go out to the clubs.
So speaking of spirits, let's start the show. Why don't you give us two of your favorite gospel tracks?
So I came across this one just the other day, or I was reminded of this one just the other day. While she's not necessarily a gospel artiste, she does have gospel roots, and she grew up in the church. But Shantae Moore, she has a song on her last album called, the album was called More is More, and the name of the song is called Jesus, I Want You. And now, so this is a combination for me. I love Shantae Moore, and I love her range, and I love her voice, and I love her passion, and she does all that in the song, and there's a message inside of it as well, so I enjoy that. And then, more traditionally, I hated these people when I were younger. when I was younger. But I'm going to say as I've gotten older, I've gotten appreciation for them, especially after meeting them, or one of them at least. The Clark sisters.
Oh, okay.
Is My Living in Vain? Baby, it is the most droll, dragged out. Is my living in vain? But baby,
that's like a 47-minute song.
It is. And listen, but it's amazing. So those are two of my two favorites of mine. What about it for you?
All right, so the first one is by the New York Mass Choir. It's called My Soul Says Yes. And it's...
Have you heard this?
Maybe we'll listen to it later. But we'll definitely listen to it on our trip to Atlanta. You know, we need some good gospel music to,
keep
the road safe for us. But the first time I heard that song was, when I was in college. I belonged to the choir at Flipper Chapel AME.
You was a part of the choir?
I was a part of the choir, honey.
You was a choir boy?
I was a fag in the choir. Shocker.
You was the head tambourine shaker?
No, I actually had, I had a really good voice, but then I had strep throat a couple of times.
Wow. Maybe that's my problem.
And so, like, after I got out of college, I had strep throat a couple of times, and I started getting this thing where I just had that cough. Mm-hmm. Starting, like, when I got back from college, every winter I developed this cough, and over time I noticed that I couldn't hit the notes like I used to. Listen, I was never...
You was hitting whistle notes and stuff?
No, girl. I was.
Look at you.
I could do
a musical prodigy.
I could do a cute alto when I needed to. I mean, I was a tenor.
Okay.
But I mean, when I needed to, I could sit in with the altos and I could hit the strong alto notes, and occasionally I could hit a soprano note. I mean, even though this has always been the natural level of my voice, I had a range. I mean, I was good enough to, in the 7th grade, where I auditioned for the chorus and performed at the Kennedy Center. But I was no Luther Vandross. Listen, girls, listen, because bitch, we will be having this conversation entirely differently. We will be having this conversation from the. Listen, if that was the case, we would be having this conversation in the Gay Boy Mansion.
With the cashmere walls.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Listen, I'd be like Luther Vandross serving you Kool-Aid out of Wedgwood crystal goblets.
Have some red.
Right. So it was never like that. But I mean, I did have a decent enough choir voice, but just over the years, I mean, because I didn't, like Whitney, I didn't take care of I'm not comparing myself to Whitney. I'm just saying I didn't take care of my instrument, and singing was never the thing for me. So,
Maybe
But anyway,
maybe that's why I can't sing now, because I think every year I would get strep throat. Every single year. Mm-hmm. Every year. But anyway. Listen, learn something new every day. So that's when somebody says, I can't sing because I had strep throat everything.
Yes, that's it. So My Soul Says Yes. And it's really just the choir repeating the words yes over and over again, but hitting the runs. Mm-hmm. And it's a 3-part harmony with the tenors, the altos, and the sopranos. And then of course there's the loud black woman singing. And I don't mean loud as disrespect, but I'm just saying, and she's telling her story and she's giving her testimony, and it's just so moving. It was personally moving to me based on the things that I was going through in my life. For me, music has always been, like people will say, I love that song. I was like, it doesn't move me. Right. And if a song doesn't move me, it just doesn't move me. And not just gospel music, but like every song that we've talked about, it's something that brought me joy or brought out some particular emotion in me. That's why people used to always say that I should be a radio DJ, but I was like, no, I hate most music. And I don't feel like I could be on air like, this was the latest by Snoop Dogg. And I'm like, that was a terrible song. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like most music is terrible. Like, I could never do Donnie Simpson's job. Like, I always thought it sounded fun.
Well, much like you, I got that as well. When people talking about the tone of your voice and all that kind of stuff. So I got that. But I think I would have enjoyed meeting the personality.
Right. I'm sure I would have done well at it, but just the idea of having to pretend to like all of this music that I didn't necessarily care for. Because I've never been a person of whatever age I was in. Because I like, old school hip hop more now than I actually did when I was part of the old school. Yeah. So I love the music from the 80s now, but at the time I was like,
it's all right.
I was more into Luther Vandross and Teddy Pendergrass than I was Curtis Blow and all of that. But anyway, so that was the first song. The second song, so I got 2 songs by Aretha, 2 songs by Daryl Coley.
Okay.
So we're going to get into Aretha first because I went to see Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, the song is incredible. So that's just a given. But Mary, Don't You Weep is an incredible song. Because I also love a song. See? Yes. Come on. Come on, you know the words. Oh, Mary. Mary. And Claire Ward sitting in the back like,
I am here. Y'all not paying me.
I sang this song first. Let me tell you. So Claire Ward walked in, and we'll move on from this. But Claire Ward walked in because this was filmed over 2 days, right? Okay. So the first day, they did most of the songs twice. So that's why some of the songs just like sounds just a tiny bit different because they're sort of mixed together. Okay. So Claire Ward was not there the first day. They called Claire Ward the second day, and she walked in like everybody was supposed to be like. There was like, please sit down so we can get the.
Please.
So
oh my God, Clara, please sit down. Please sit down. Yeah, thank you.
And apparently, what I gathered from this was that Clara used to sing this song, "Mary, Don't You Weep," all the time. But Aretha.
When Aretha touches it, it's over.
Exactly. Yeah. She slayed it, and at first, Clara's eye was like twitching, and that wig was like. But you just can't be mad at Mary Don't You Weep. It just brings something out in your spirit.
That's true.
So so how was your week?
My week was actually pretty good. It was the actual birthday.
That's right.
Yes.
Where did y'all go? Y'all went to have big fun in Busch Gardens, and none of us were invited.
Let me clarify. I actually wasn't planning on going anywhere for my birthday. Howsoever, I got a call from one of our brothers because his birthday was the day before mine. And he organized after his husband asked him what he wanted to do and where he wanted to go. He decided to include both the birthday people. One of them was not available, and I was available. And I said, I'm not doing anything else.
All right.
So why not?
Okay,
and that's
you
how
didn't
we
think
want
to invite none of your other friends too. Okay, no, it's fine though. It's fine. It's fine.
So that was how we wanted. Actually, yes, we did. We Orion came with us.
Oh. Okay. All right.
But we managed to have a good time. It was not the same without you. But we also know that we're coming back in August, so that's a whole that is a whole different thing.
Did you get a ticket?
I did.
Groupon.
So
we're going to go up on Friday night and stay until Sunday.
But one of my birthday gifts, I was gifted a season pass.
Oh, that's cute.
And so it covers that. So I was like, okay. So I was all in.
I put $1 in on that season pass, by the way.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And so it was a good weekend. It was something different because listen, I don't do water at parks. I do not. I feel like Noxzema Jackson. I do not do the bus. I do not do water. So every time
you don't want it to mess up your hair color?
It's not even about that. I think the water is nasty. I think when I go to an amusement park, I always think the water is just nasty. And I think of all the places that I've ever been where at the end of the day, the water should have been blue and it's like gray or black. It's like,
Where you been where the water was black?
Listen, you go at some of these places, especially like Great Adventure or
But that's why I'm going in the morning.
And you know what I mean? So I kind of, this
right
is
when the bitch open.
Right, this is what I think about when I think about water in amusement parks, as well as I don't like wet socks and shoes. That just
you can't take your socks and shoes off before you get in the water?
I'm not getting on no damn water ride to come down a log flume and have it all wet. And
so that's why you wear sandals.
I'm not doing that. So I normally don't do that. But this was something different for me. So when we decided to go to water country, I was like, okay, we had a whole day in Busch Gardens. Then we went the next day into water.
Such high maintenance.
Listen, I know me, so this is why I don't even be bothered. You know, every time everybody got on the water ride, where was I at? Standing right on the side. Bitch, I do not do water like that. But anyway, Water Country, I will say, was amazing.
Okay.
And
I've never been to Water Country.
Oh my
so
God!
I'm looking forward
Listen,
to it.
the motherfucking Hubba Hubba Highway was everything.
Okay.
But you put that vest on, and the current just takes you around like it's like the lazy river. You just
really?
land,
Okay.
like you just land, and it just takes you around. You're like doo 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 doo. It's only 3.5 feet of water, so you can stand up at any point in time. But it's just moving.
That's cute.
So it was amazing. So I enjoyed that.
Because I always feel like when we go to Busch Gardens, it's like I don't feel like I need a whole day at Busch Gardens.
Because all I'm getting on is roller coasters anyway.
Right. I feel like if we go Friday, if I go down Friday evening, we get there when the park opens at 10. I'm ready to be out by like 2 or 3, and then we can hit Water Country, and then it's a 3-day pass, so I could go back again Sunday if I want to ride the roller coasters again before we go.
And we did that. So we did on the second day after we stayed in the park. We then went back to after we stayed in Water Country, we went back to the amusement park and rode some more rides, and then we left. Like, it was great. I mean, it was, the thing about it is, it's so much fun because you're walking around all day, and you never realize how much, like, walking you do.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And then also, Busch Gardens is a hill. It's in a canyon and a hill.
Yeah.
That's a lot, but it was fun. It was real fun.
You got to have on your comfortable
But now,
shoes.
this was the funny thing. So it was the 4 of us get ready to get on this water slide thing. So I said, well, is there a weight limit for this? They were like, yeah, the weight limit is 800 pounds. I said, okay. In my mind, I already did the quick calculations. I was like,
For
all
all
4
four?
of us are not getting on this thing. All 4 of us are not getting on this.
Well,
Between me,
Orion,
007, and Gray.
That's not 800 pounds.
Listen, even if you did 200 pounds each for each one of us, and we already know that one of them is not 200 pounds.
One of these things is not like...
And the other part of that is everybody else is very close to where we are. So we're over. So it was like we were standing on the big industrial
So did
scale.
just 2 of y'all go at the same?
We had to go 2 at a time.
Oh,
Split up 2
okay.
at a time. So all 4 of us couldn't go, which was fine. But and then the other part was I got on this other thing that was a chute where you actually get inside of it. You fold your arms, cross your legs.
Yeah, that's a little too claustrophobic for me.
Wait, and then they drop the floor.
Oh, bitch, no. I'm out.
To me.
So you're standing and then the floor drops out? Oh, no,
And
man.
while you're
No,
in this
ma'am.
little tomb, they have, all you hear is a heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. Because they're piping this into the air. So the woman's like, she's like, are you okay? Are you ready? I was like, I'm trying to get my mind right. She's like, are you okay? Are you ready? I was like, what, girl? Just go and press the button. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. Whoosh. When I tell you I held my breath the entire time, because I was trying to get myself together and say, I don't know how much water's going to be in my whole... So by the time I got to the end, I had a headache from holding my breath so damn long. But
How deep is the water at the end? Because, I can't swim. So
it was like 2 feet, 3 feet.
So are you...
It was enough to stand up. So
finished?
yeah, it was good, yeah.
So when I was in high school, we took our senior class trip to Daytona Beach. And we took 2 day trips. One to Disney World, that was the one time I went on the teacups, and I was like, never again.
Oh, spin it
And
around.
then the second day, we went to Wet and Wild, which is a water park. And they were like, you go on this slide, and they like, the water's 6 feet deep. And I was like, well, I'm 5'10", so, just 2 feet of water. No, girl. With the drift and everything, that's like 7 feet of water. So I'm in the water drowning, and I'm like, so I go down to the bottom, I bomb back up. I sort of kicked off from the bottom, and I was like,
somebody come get me.
and I grab some air and go back down and come back up. I was like, you, come get me. Come get my fat ass. So, that whenever I do or see those slides, I always got to ask how deep the water is.
Yeah, but the water was enough to keep you moving on top of it, and at the end of the pool, it was probably maybe up to your knee.
Oh, okay.
Because again,
some of them are so high that they have to be deep enough in order for you to have
you come down and level out, and level out at the end. So it's still water.
Oh,
in there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you don't go.
into
This
a
one you
pool.
went like sort of straight down, so you sort of.
Well, even
there
that
had to be
one-
enough water. There had to be enough water for when you came straight down for you to essentially dive into the pool without hitting your head or your feet on the bottom.
Well, this one did the same thing. It came straight down, but then it curved out.
Yeah,
So
this
it-
one
it-
didn't curve. This
yeah,
one said
went straight down.
It had a curve, but the curve was like shoot and then out.
No, this one was a long curve. It was
Oh, okay.
steep, but it was curved. But it was
Then
great.
I might be able to do that one.
So yeah, it was
Listen.
listen, it was funny. It was funny. It was very funny.
I'm gonna have an oxygen tank just in case.
Yeah, but it was good.
Okay.
So, but other than that, the week was good. Work was good. One of my coworkers today, I don't think she watches the show, but if she does, I want to say, I hope you're doing well. I got to work this morning, and she was having a medical issue, and they wound up calling the ambulance and coming to pick her up. And my boss texted me afterwards and said that she said she's okay, she's at home, she's resting. But I just want to say good well, and so
Yeah.
BJ, hope to see you at work sometime next week or whatever. So feel better.
Yes. So what did I do? Oh, so Thing 1 and Thing 2 came to visit from
right.
Philadelphia and Phoenix, respectively. So we had a cute little time hanging out and being sociable. And Thing 2's mother was, so he spent Friday night with his mother. And they live out in where they live.
Okay.
And so when she dropped him off, at first we were just standing there chit-chatting on the sidewalk, and I was like, come on in. And let me tell you, me and his mother hit it off famously. And so, like, even to the point where she went downstairs and I had a piece of artwork laying up against the St. Andrew's Cross. And she was like, oh, what is this? This is nice. And at first I was like, oh, I can't talk to somebody, mama, like this. And then I found out, or I had already found out that she was 47 years old. I'm like, girl, you're a year younger than me. Girl, what the fuck? I mean, yes, you may be somebody's mama, but
that's the work.
You are my little sister. So
this is how I feel about Deviant's mother. Like I was like, Miss
Shirley.
I just couldn't. It's weird, but
right. So yeah, but yeah. So she was really nice, and so we had a wonderful time just hanging out. Then we went to Baltimore. Baltimore was cute. So you know how they had the Code Bar. So they were like, the first time we tried to go into the Code Bar, they were like, oh, it's packed in the Code Bar, it's at capacity. So I was like, it must be jumping in there, because based on the story that Cardinal and Savage had told about people getting fisted and flogging scenes and everything, I was like, it's about to be on.
In the back.
Okay. Because that's where the old Eagle was. And
right.
So, they say they try and carry it on or whatever. So then we finally get back there, and I was like, so there's the Code Bar, and then behind the Code Bar there's a dark room. And in the dark room, I've started using this term, spicy vanilla. That's what it was. It was maybe 75 to 100 or so people in there, which is probably capacity.
That was probably crowded.
So the room is probably about twice the size of this, but with like 100 people there, but they were not all carrying on.
Okay. Wow.
75 to 80% of those people, well, like 85% of those, no, not carrying on, they were standing around.
Oh.
So most of the people were standing around. One, person was getting banged out by somebody in the corner. There was, the dick-sucking corner. But most of the people were just standing around. So I was like,
do something.
After a while, I was like, I'm over this, because the fuck.
I can do this in a bar.
Right. So, but it was cute. Then on the way out, I am in the parking space, right? I'm pulling out. This chick with no headlights is coming out of that parking lot where the gas station is. She sees me. She stops. So I keep going. And then she keeps going. And then the bitch sideswipes me.
Are you serious?
Like she's turning into my lane. And so her car sort of hits mine. And I get out. I look at my car. And I was like, just get the fuck back in your car. Just get the fuck back in your car. And she was like, you didn't see me. You didn't see me. I'm like, you didn't have your lights on. You're nothing. I was like, just get back in the fucking car. Just get. But why you in this same shit? Why you gotta be rude though? Cause bitch, you hit my fucking car. And she did it again. The same shit.
She went and called you a fag.
She called me a fag. Baby, it took all of my willpower. I bust the windows out. It took all of my willpower. But I did slam on the brake, and I said, see, that's all you can do, and leave these other queens on the corner. That's right. Fuck her ass up. Fuck her ass up. I was like, girl, I got a clearance. I'm not going to be fighting bitches in the middle of the street. But, I've had revenge fantasies about whooping her ass.
I don't have a clearance. Let's be clear about that. So maybe it's a good thing I wasn't here, because I don't have a clearance.
So, yeah. So
just so that you know, I do not have a clearance.
But yeah, so other than that, the weekend was cute, and then we, had some cute little brother bonding time, and then we Thing One had to head back to Philadelphia because Sean.
Thing One, you know what? Thing One, if you're watching, I'm going to tell you, you are
antisocial,
shady and you are
be like,
tired.
Right, he'd be like, oh, I want to hang out. And then when he does get with us, this girl is on his phone
24/7
in the car the whole fucking time. And then, so Thing Two is like, Thing One, what are you doing? And I was like, girl, he ain't paying us no attention. He on his phone. He get together with us just so he can look on his phone in the company of other people. But anyway,
whatever. But hopefully, is he going to black out?
No.
Tired.
You're late and you're tired.
But anyway,
so all right. So let's get to the show. We got 30 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So, gay president.
So okay. So I found this article here, and it is about people having such issues with the possibility of Pete Buttigieg becoming.
Is that how you say it?
Buttigieg, yes.
I thought it was Buttigieg.
So he said I watched him pronounce it. He says Buttigieg.
Okay.
So anyway, people are in such arms about him about this Pete Buttigieg, who is openly gay, Democratic presidential hopeful, and so him and his husband. People are up in arms about this because they're like, oh my God, he's gay? Like, what is, like, he's openly gay? Like, what's going on? So his thing is, he talked about this saying that there is a good chance that we've already had a gay president. And he said, yeah. And
what was his name? But that's like a legitimate story though.
But there's questions about, Coolidge and what's his face with the spectacle.
It was the president.
Coolidge, Hoover, or Roosevelt. I think it was one of the three.
No. It was someone before them. This was someone who was president before Lincoln. He never got married. He before he became president, before he became a senator. I'm not talking about Lincoln, but whoever it was, sometime before Lincoln, he never got married. He had a roommate that he lived with until he, all while he was, a state representative and became a senator and whatever. And it was only once he became president that they weren't roommates anymore. And letters that they exchanged between them were it wasn't like, I'm gonna suck your dick intimate, but it was very intimate even for an era where, sort of male on male affection was more accepted. So, and there was actually like whispers about him being a homosexual.
So, and again, this is the whole point of what Pete was actually saying. He was just saying that statistically, it's almost certain that there was,
right.
Because again, when you think about the statistics on how many people are actually gay, again, out of the 44 presidents, statistically, it's almost certain that there's at least one.
At least two of them.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna just say at least one. So
right.
But we don't say possibly two.
Several of them has put a dick in their mouth.
Well, yeah, or anywhere else.
Right.
So, but anyway, I found that to be an interesting article.
One of my problems with Buttigieg is he's trying to portray this image with him and his husband that they're just like. It's very white Christian. He's the first lady.
Stereotypically
his wife
Republican.
is going to be a
stereotypically Republican image with a Democratic moniker. And
with Democratic gay moniker.
And
I'm just like, this. I mean,
so
yes,
I'm concerned about him.
Are there plenty of gays who are living this sort of, ward and ward cleaver lifestyle?
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
Good for you, but I mean, they still gonna call you a fag. So
yeah, whether you are Republican or not, you're still gonna be a fag.
So all right. Hey. So, I didn't hear about this.
So yes, we got to
reserve a lot of time for polls.
So there's also, if anybody's ever seen this, and you probably saw it on Facebook, the Democratic National Convention, the DNC's anti-Trump wallpaper that they sent out, and I've seen this on Facebook. It was a picture of Donald Trump's face, and over top of it, the word said "boy bye," and so it was asking you.
That just seems childish,
right? Well, it was actually from Beyonce's song.
I know exactly where it's from,
but then what happens is when they tell you to text 43 whatever to this particular number, then what happens is you are signing up to receive more information from the Democratic from the DNC. And so people's response to that was, it started out cute, but then it's also like, well, wait a minute.
I need you to articulate some policy positions.
Yeah, but you're concerned about all these things. You need to be concerned about, this man in the office, because at this rate, with these types of stunts, you're making it almost likely for him to actually go back into the office in 2020.
You need to articulate policy positions that, represent not just that rabid base, but, that you need policies that everybody ain't got to get behind every policy, but people got to get behind some policy.
And I think, for me, that what I would like to see in not only a president, but within both parties is, I need to see some bipartisanship, because it's just and there's some collaboration that just needs to happen. And you can be independent, you could be Republican, you could be Democratic. Just have some bipartisanship so we can come to some agreements on some things. That's one of my problems, but that's also what I liked about Barack Obama. But that's my own thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, also, I did go check out finally Rocket Man by.
Oh, how was it?
It was actually really good. So Crystal and I went.
I have to see it. I have.
It was pretty good. So what I would say is you can hold off, but it was good. You can hold off. It's a Sunday afternoon. Watch it on cable, matinee type of thing. If it comes on demand, it's 99¢. Go ahead and buy it. Yes, great. But it was okay.
You don't need to go to the theater.
No, you don't need to go to the theater.
Okay.
Now I also need to check out Bohemian Rhapsody, because I haven't seen that as of yet either. But I definitely want to see that. Right or left?
Bootleg.
Oh yeah, that one. So you said something else. That's what I was like, right or left. I'm like,
what were you saying?
I was like, I had a boogie in my nose?
No.
God, I'm here. Anyway, so also, as far as movies are concerned, if any of you are Wu-Tang Clan fans, and I was, and I still am, because I love Method Man, I love Old Dirty Bastard, like I love RZA, like I love all that.
You just like Dirty Trade.
Okay, well, whatever. They have this limited docu-series that's coming on. It's coming on Showtime, and it's called Wu-Tang Clan of Mics and Men nonfiction series. Hey, Cujo. And it's a docuseries that looks back on the group's career, combining intimate and reflective interviews from each of the 9 living members with never before seen footage and archival footages and performances. And so I'm kind of...
I forgot there was like 50, 11 minutes.
Oh my God, it's like... And they go deep. Like, those are just the ones that are out there. So there's so many other ones. But anyway, so I kind of want to see that. So any of you that are interested, just let you know that's out there on Showtime.
Okay.
Yes. So go check that out, because I probably am at some particular point in time.
Yes.
But before we start talking about Pose, I want to also just give a shout out to Ryan Murphy, Brad Falchuk, and also Janet Mock, because the show has actually been renewed for a 3rd season, according to Deadline.
The season 2 premiere was the most watched episode. They drew in 1.2 million, which for a basic cable network is huge numbers. It's not Game of Thrones numbers, but it's a whole different ball game when you get there. But that's really good numbers.
Listen, they did well, and I think what I'm enjoying about the show most this time is it is so damn. It's just good, and it is telling a part of my life that while I didn't have some of the same struggles that they all did. Yeah. I was living those struggles with friends, and some of those struggles were mine. But
none of these struggles were mine, because in 1990 I was that summer, which most of it is starting in the summer of 1990. I was back here in DC. Actually, you know where I was? I was working right here at the Red Lobster. I was working at the Bob's Big Boy. That was my full-time job, and I wanted to buy a car because I was moving off campus down at FAM. So I needed to save up enough money to buy a car. So I worked at this Red Lobster right here for exactly a month. Okay. So that I could make $800 in tips. I made like $1,000. As soon as my bank account hit $1,000, I was like,
I'm out. Deuces. Peace.
I know you got me on the ship or the schedule tomorrow, but I didn't need the money to get through the regular day. I just needed to make some extra cash. As soon as I made that extra cash, I was like, I'm out. So my deadline, my whole life was living this, sort of middle class existence, completely oblivious to what I'm sure were similar struggles for black and brown, gay and trans people here in DC and in New York City. So you know,
and to be clear, whether you were living their actual lives or not, you probably, whether you knew it or not, knew someone that was actually living that.
Probably,
and
almost certainly,
yeah.
Almost
certainly.
certainly.
This is why it's because some of my friends I was very close with that are no longer with us, and the struggle was real. So, but anyway, I'm enjoying the show because it's bringing back a lot of great memories as well.
So, a couple of highlights. So, all right, first, Electra as a dominatrix. So here are my comments. I just wrote down my comments. I love Electra as a dominatrix, but even if they hadn't shown like the clip from next week's episode, I wrote down at the beginning of that, as soon as we saw that Electra was a dominatrix, I was like, somebody finna die. Because she clearly didn't know what she was actually doing from like a kink perspective. Well, it's not clear. I'm not going to say clearly, but what was clear to me was that she was working out her anger towards heterosexual men and all of the other anger, some of it justifiable, about the things that have happened in her life and that, you know, she's sort of gone through. And I was like,
yes,
that's not a good recipe for a male or female dom, to bring that anger into an unrestrained anger into the what is essentially the workplace.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, somebody finna die.
But it was good though.
It was cute. She looked good.
She looked good.
She looked real good. But she had that high pony.
Listen, the high pony was good.
Fire Club.
Right, but that high pony, she was a little thin, girl. I'm gonna you to add a little bag or something, a bag of 7 to that. But it was a little thin. But it was cute though. It was cute. And one of our brothers was talking about her little walk down the street, saying it was everything.
Yes, it was cute.
On the ballroom scene, that was one of the things she was known for. But it was a cute scene for her. So she did that. So I'm hats off to that.
And you know, the Hellfire Club is actually a well-known, well, now it's a gay BDSM club. In this iteration, it appeared to be a club where transgendered people, not just, but at least everybody that worked there appeared to be transgender. Worked, and you know, they were making money, and it was a way for them to still sort of do sex work, but to own their sexuality in a way that was much safer, because they were all dominatrixes, you know, which is probably a safer way of interacting with men than, you know, what Angel was doing, which is, you know, hooking on the pier. That's much more dangerous.
Yeah.
So Candy Ferocity's stand-up skirt, it was cute. I wasn't as slayed by it as they pretended to be there. I mean, it was definitely cute, but I wasn't slayed by it.
So that wasn't Candy. That was Lulu.
Which one is Candy?
Candy is the black one.
Okay. Yeah. So Lulu. It was cute.
Yeah.
And her titties was up and presenting.
Yes, God.
And she looked lovely.
Yes,
God. But just, I thought it was a cute effect, you know, to sort of unzip and then, you know, walk out.
It
was cute, but it wasn't.
But listen.
I wasn't like gagged.
No, I wasn't gagging. But listen, shout out to Miss Candy, because listen, Candy reminds me of somebody, and one of my viewers is on here watching, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Candy reminds me of a legend in the Philadelphia area that was always known for walking around with a hammer in her bag.
Right.
So this is why I'm getting complete life. There's this.
You can't call her name?
I can. She's deceased. But there's this transgender woman that was rumored or alleged to be doing a lot of illegal silicone injections on people as well. Her name was Kelly Harper.
Okay.
Kelly Harper was, at one point, she was beautiful.
The House of Harper?
No, she was. I forgot what she was actually in.
Your filler has settled nicely. Also, all of this is filler then. I
hate you.
Knew it.
I
knew it.
I hate you. So she was, but yeah, she at one point she was beautiful, and I want to say she was a Revlon, I think, at one particular point in time. But anyway, she's since passed on. But she's gone to. She was that person that went over the edge and kind of did excessive pumping and excessive everything. So she was a. At one point, I've heard somebody refer to her as a science project before she died, because that's how much pumping she had done to her body and her face and everything else. But this hoe, in the best of most affectionate term, would carry a hammer in broad daylight on the L train with a hammer and be like, "Bitch, What bitch?
What?
So Miss Candy, this hammer, I'm gonna give a shout out because you bringing it
I
back
hope
for me.
Kelly knew how to use her hammer
no.
better than
Kelly
Candy
done
did.
Kelly
Candy
fucks the
don't
bitch
know how
up.
to use that hammer because listen, here is your arm, here is the hammer. All Elektra does have a longer reach.
Yeah.
But all she had to do was bop her with the hammer, bop her hand with the hammer, and it would have been over for her.
But listen, I was here for Elektra when she pulled that switchblade out. She said, come on, bitch. I said, yes!
She's like, all right, listen.
Yes!
If you want it.
If you want it, bitch, I'm serving hot, fresh tastiness. Come on.
Right.
So, yeah.
So,
Patti LuPone.
She
was
yes.
At one point I thought that in that dungeon scene, the woman that was counting money with Elektra.
That was a trans woman. That was
I know, but
Patty.
at one point I thought it was I thought it was Chi Rivera.
Oh,
that's what I thought it was, but I was like, okay, it's not. But then I realized it was a trans woman.
Yes.
But anyway, Patti LuPone, good for you for showing up and being a part of this because I like Patti. She's great.
Yes, but the moment she walked up and when she was like cash only, I was like, oh girl, this is a stunt.
She was like,
this
handshake,
is a
it's yours.
stunt. Although she did get her cash back.
Yes, she did.
She did get her cash back,
Yes,
which
she
I was
did.
like, all right, because it could have. She
could have went way left.
Because that dude could have thrown her ass out,
and that was it.
Then she'd have just been out of that
was it.
several $1,000s that she gave her. So I'm glad that she got the money
Desmond,
back.
you need to call in 240-719-2560.
One more time for anybody.
240-719-2560. Okay.
So I also what was I going to say? I was glad that she got the coins back. That whole thing, I was like, all right, so where's that going to go?
Right.
What I would really love is if they actually became friends.
So
Like she saw something.
Yeah, I hope that
like
happens.
Patti LuPone's character sees something in her.
I hope
and
that
she's like,
happens.
you know what? So she was like a Karen Walker. She's like, you know what?
I like you. Yeah, like I like you.
So that's what I thought she was giving. I thought she, like this is who Karen Walker was before she met.
What were her
Will
dog's
and
name
Grace.
again?
Cash and Credit. And I said I wanted to name my dog Stocks and Bonds. But what was funny to me is like, so the way, and we talked about this in our group meet, the way that they have Blanca written is that, no offense to transgender women, but that she's supposed to be this extremely clockable man in a man in a wig. That's the way she's supposed to look. And I was like, man, she may not be the film queen that Angel. First of all, I saw a picture of her on Instagram that was giving me. She turned it.
India?
No, MJ Rodriguez.
Oh, listen.
That turned it.
Don't get it twisted.
But I mean, I just saw it today after we had this conversation. But it's just funny to me that they keep writing her and giving her and other characters these lines where Blanca's character is supposed to be this completely clockable transgender woman versus Angel, who was completely unclockable. And I was like, if you stand them side by side, you wouldn't necessarily know. And I'm not saying that is the goal of transitioning to look the most like a woman, but it's just I get what they're trying to do, and they just happen to find a woman who is beautiful. We got a caller. We have a caller.
We have a caller. But so this kind of brings me to something I want to bring up.
Hello, caller.
Caller, are you there?
Hi, this is Desmond calling from Philly. Hey,
what's going
Desmond.
on, Desmond REV? What's going on, boo?
Ain't much. How are you?
I'm good. So we were getting
I
ready
can't watch the show. I had to cut off the show so I can call. I'm like,
All right, well, no problem. Listen, but you're on the show, so you're now part of history now. That's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do.
Wonderful.
All right, so we were getting ready to get to this part we were just talking about how
clockable
or not. And so, of course, one of the first people that comes to my mind was our good girlfriend, Miss Naima.
Wow.
Right. So
I'm assuming she was completely unclockable.
Miss Naima was absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Mm-hmm. She was the most listen. I love it. She was the most bangy babe on the block. Mm-hmm. High top Reeboks and finger waves. Come through, Desmond. Give us a description, please.
That was Naima. Naima was your bangy cunt realness. That was your ghetto girl. She did not carry or relate herself into. The difference with Naima is, even though she introduced me into ballroom, I had two complete different separate lives outside of ballroom. she considered herself a woman.
Right.
Inside the ballroom, she considered herself a femme queen.
Right.
Now, the difference is, transgender real woman, and she carried herself as a real woman, but a very ghetto woman. Very North Philly, comes to school with your ass, one of those types,
So
girls. Very relatable to my family.
right.
But
So
that was my girl.
So the question, we were talking about how they portray Electra's character as being clockable.
Not Electra.
I'm sorry,
Blanca's.
Blanca's character as being clockable, and Angel's character as being unclockable. And we were talking about how they're casting them that way. But I think that one of the reasons we were talking about this, I think one of the reasons they were doing that is to show also the disparity between those that can pass and those that can't, and how that's an everyday struggle of those men and or women that are trans.
I totally agree with that. Back then, opposed to as still now to the day. However, the realer you are in the scene when you're in the transgender world is almost as important as financial gain. The realer transgenders, for whatever, are more respected by other transgenders and the whole gay community, just because they are able to pull it off.
Dog baby, speak into the microphone because I can't hear a word you're saying.
No, I apologize. That being real, being in the transgender community back then as well as now, the realer you are, the more you're respected by the gay community and the transgender community, mainly because you were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
The difference between the ball scene then in the 90s opposed to now, a lot of people inspired to transgender, and the thing was to be real and to be able to fit in with everyday society. That was the whole entire goal beyond almost every film queen category until they fast forward to the 90s now, where they're now brought in, but where they've had introduced Vogue, and there's going to be a handful of categories that's more theatrical.
True.
More than real.
So I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna bring back this one memory with Miss Naima. We went to Great Adventure, and we stood in front of the water ride. And Miss Naima stood there.
Did she give a scene?
Miss Naima stood there with a pair of jeans on and a white Cools T-shirt on. And when the water hit, Naima's white T-shirt became a white T-shirt like she was at a beach party. And Naima had these good old jugs that was just pure hormone, and she was walking through the park like, yeah.
Wow. Can before I get off the phone, can we hit back on this Pose thing? They really brought me to tears in chat. You did mention about how a lot of people that we knew were in that same struggle in the 90s. Can we just go back and visit that that house meeting they had at the dining room table? And the way she brought out
the popcorn and the hot sauce?
No, when she going into a story of when she was younger and how she was just looking for love,
right?
And how she equated sex to love, and she knew these women were strangers. The whole thing is she would just wanted them to love her, and she knew it was just temporary, but she equated sex to love. And I think that was that actually brought tears to me, because in this community then and still now,
yes,
I don't know where it mixes in the sexual community that sex and love, they blend, and I'm glad they pointed that out, because, a lot of us, out here, they face that every day, I think that's one of the reasons why casual sex is so more accepted by homosexuals than heterosexuals, because of that equation.
Listen.
Did y'all get that from there?
No, I definitely did. And I thought that played heavily into Damon's decision to break up with Ricky, because I think he felt like he said, he was losing himself in this relationship, and he was trying to replace the love of his mother, of his father, all of the things that he was missing in this man, and he was becoming way too wrapped up, way too young over this kid. And he was like, you know what? Yeah, you probably slept with old boy, which I don't know if he did or not.
I think he did.
I think he did too. But it was like, I'm too young to be this wrapped up in one person, which I felt like was a very mature
It was
decision.
very, very, very mature. And I think we.
This
all,
is keep it cute. He realized he was way dickmatized.
Well,
he was super dickmatized, and he was like, "Bitch, I am too dickmatized." I mean, it's one thing to like the dick, but it's another thing to just be like, listen, Ricky was, Damon was on the cusp of being that bitch to show up at every Al B. Sure concert trying to fight that queen in the back, and he get banned from the concert. They got a picture looking for this bitch at the,
Yeah, they're like, don't let him in.
Right.
Listen, Doll Baby, I appreciate you calling. We're going to wrap this show up, so get back off and tune back in.
All right, y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all soon.
All right,
Thank you,
thank you, babe.
So Elektra comes out, House of Wintour, which I was fine with, but when she said Wintour is coming, I was like,
It was corny, but you know what?
It was corny. So let's put it this way: if there had never been a Game of Thrones, it would have been a cute line.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, in 1990, even the books hadn't been, or had the books been written? I don't know if the first Song of Fire and Ice had been written.
I don't know.
That book has been out for like forever.
I don't know.
But I just felt like that was a bit on the nose. So And the scene,
it was a big coincidence.
It was a coinky dink.
Yeah. But that announcement was everything. But listen, when they brought her back and introduced her when she was walking the first category. So first of all, let me back
those
up.
Wings, they're like, those wings ain't got no feathers on it too.
Miss Candy, once again.
But she did better than you, bitch.
But wait, when they brought Miss Elektra back out and her entrance, and she was standing there posed with the leaning down, I said, come on, Miss Elektra. Yes.
She did do it.
Her house, listen.
What I loved was how she brought people to the house by bringing them, what was that, a
gifts.
Chanel
Cartier.
Cartier gift.
She was like, I need you.
And Cubby and Lamar, them shady fags. They
was like,
left.
see ya, bye. It was like, bye, see ya. I was like, ooh.
So let's put it this way. So what is clear now is that they are actually just loyal to Elektra. Period. So wherever Elektra, I don't even think that is where the winners are. They're loyal to Elektra, and wherever Elektra goes.
Well, and Pray Tell mentioned that he called them house hopping hoes, which happened a lot. Like people just hop houses just for the glory of and just to be a part of, and that happened. So I think that was a
but then after like one or two times of doing that, they're like, no, girl, we don't need you.
There's some house hopping hoes.
If they were good,
they can go wherever the fuck they want to go.
Right. Okay.
But so anyway. So I saw a family member on the judges panel.
Who?
Javon was actually on the judges panel at the ball. So I wanted to say a shout out to Javon. I'm not sure if that was his television debut, but I saw him. He was in the background. I have to point him out to you, but he's a family member. He's one of my good sisters, her husband. So the
cry moment was when Blanca sat them down and she told them the whole story about being, looking for love in all the wrong places. I will say that her little Toni Braxton wig was cute.
That little squeezer.
That was a cute little wig that she had on.
Her little purse. It was her squeezer on her head.
Right. And again, I was like, maybe I'm 2019 blinded, but if I had been in the gay club, I wouldn't have been like, because she hadn't even transitioned then. I wouldn't have been like, I wouldn't have said anything. But my point is, that was a very moving scene, the whole conversation that she had. And then Lil Poppy, I'm already in love with him. And then he just burst into tears and he hugged her. And he was like, you are the strongest woman I know. And, if... he said, I will always ride for you. I will always protect you. Though, you stood up for me when no one else would, and that was the tearjerker moment
That was
the
when
episode.
the damn air conditioning, the
I
filtration
know, I was
system
like,
in the house
son
was
of a
all
bitch. I was
jacked
like,
up.
who the fuck
Stuff
is
was all in
cutting
my eyes. I
onions
couldn't
in
understand.
this
I don't know what the hell
It was
going
all
on.
dusty in
it was
this
a mess.
basement.
So
I don't know
listen,
what the fuck
I,
it
you
was.
gotta fix that.
Yeah.
But Lil Poppy was spot on. So
Lil Poppy could get it.
Yeah,
And you
Lil
know he's
Poppy
like
could.
5'2".
Lil Poppy could. And on top of that, I think I've come to realize that we have that in common because I think we've talked about that about Ye. We had that in common, and we didn't. I don't think we've talked about that because I talked about my.
Bitch, I keep a hammer.
I talked about my Asian Peruvian.
Yeah, but I keep a hammer. You just know.
Let's be clear. We're never going to have that issue. You and I are never going to have that issue because period. We're just not going to have that issue. And again, my last name is Harper. Let's be clear. From the house of Kelly Harper. I'm just saying.
Like I said, all that filler.
From the house of Kelly Harper. So we're going to talk about that.
All right. So where we at?
So the BGKH Show streams live on Wednesdays on VoxWave.com, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern and 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific. Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. Search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic. Currently, we can host a live audience, and so if you want to come into the studio, please give us a call and let us know. And by the way, if you can't be in our audience, you want to chat with us, please give us a call. The number is 240-719-2560. One more time,
240-719-2560.
And so you can reach us and actually get in touch with us and let us know you want to be in the studio audience by, like I said, giving us a call, or you can reach us on Facebook and Instagram as well as Twitter. And you can reach me on Facebook if you search for Epic Onyx. You can reach me on Instagram if you look for I Am Epic Onyx. And you can find me on Twitter at Epic Onyx1. And Dominion, how can they reach you?
You can reach me on Twitter and Instagram at Dom Onyx, on Facebook, facebook.com/Dom Onyx, and you can reach me on my website, www.domonyx.com. And I wanted you to hear My Soul Says Yes as we go out.
Be